Can you be taxed on Monero transactions? That's the question I'd like to look at today. And part of the answer to this question involves understanding the nature of Monero and other privacy-related coins. Monero is a fungible coin. It can be exchanged with other people, but the transactions are encrypted and hidden, so one cannot find out who is selling what to the other person. So that's not traceable from the outside. That means the transaction, right in plain view, is uninterpretable. You cannot be dismantled to figure out who did the trade. Now, can the IRS tax that? Well, of course, no, they can't. So in a sense, there's no tax because nobody can really be examined on that. But here's what would happen. If you got audited, and that's the key thing here, if you got audited, then it may come out that you had Monero transactions. And then they're going to want to understand what's involved. So that's one dimension of the complexity. The second dimension is, from a tax point of view, is just imagine all my Monero trades being inside a box, okay? Whether you're using an exchange or a decentralized protocol to peer-to-peer exchange Monero. So I buy Monero and I trade it around, or maybe I get paid Monero, and nobody can see what happens inside this box. But at some point in time, I want to use that value, all right? So I want to transfer the Monero into another coin that I can use to, ultimately, buy groceries, pay your bills, that sort of thing, cash out your investment, if you will. At that point in time, you're going to have to go to a non-privacy coin or directly to cash. And here you have the problem, all right? So let's say I put $1,000 into my Monero and I trade it back and forth, the value grows, and then I take out $10,000. I exchange a certain amount of Monero and I get Ethereum, $10,000 worth of Ethereum. Well, at some point in time when I sell the Ethereum, they're going to say, what's the cost basis of the Ethereum? Well, since you can't really prove what you bought it for, the cost basis is going to be zero. You're basically going to get taxed on the net gain that you experienced inside this Monero box when you cash it out via Ethereum. This is a very common tax technique that you basically draw a box around the asset. This is what we do with gaming tokens. IRS doesn't have to know what's happening inside, but we can see that you move a certain amount of cash in and you cashed out in fiat or crypto some amount, and there's a dollar value on that. So the IRS can say, I don't know what happened on the inside, but I know you walked out with $9,000 more, and we're going to tax you on that $9,000. So that's kind of what happens, and you're going to say, no, that's not the case, blah, 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 and then you're going to have to just expose the value of all your Monero transactions. And they could get hostile with you in an audit, and they could assert that you had gains. A second angle on this is criminal investigation. With criminal investigation, that's a big if, show that you actually had in your possession Monero and you exchanged it with somebody else and failed to report the value on your tax return, they can then charge you with criminal tax fraud. They don't have to know the dollar values of the transactions. They could see that you came into possession of a certain currency and then you unloaded it and failed to report that transaction. The threshold is if IRS can show that there's at least $10,000 of unreported income, and the burden of proof would be on you to prove that it wasn't $10,000, then they can hit you with criminal tax fraud. That is a punishment. It's punishable by up to 3 years in prison and $250,000. So plus any taxes that you owed. So this is while exchanging and trading in privacy coins may serve certain needs that you have, don't forget that you're going to be realizing some gains and that you have to pay taxes on those gains in some form or shape at some point in time. So if you want to stay, safe with the law. If you have any questions in your particular situation, by all means, you can give us a call. I'm just trying to give some insight into the privacy coin business and how the IRS interacts with it. All the best.